Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is supposed to be a short video. I'm just going to be discussing this guitar tone that was very popular in the 80s and 90s. Almost every major studio guitar player will dial up this guitar tone, and it worked really well back then, and even today it's still used. Not as much, but still. So I would like to share the way I dial up this tone. Hopefully you'll find some useful information. Okay, so let's start one plugin at a time. The basic tone is coming from a clean sounding amp. Has a built-in room sound, I guess, right? Right, and of course, a real amp is always going to be better. These are emulations. I've been using emulation for a long time. I'm in no position to have real amps in my studio. It's too expensive, and it's out of my possibilities. So I have to settle with emulations, which have gotten really good. But up to, in my experience, the only limitation is that they don't have the same level of dynamic range, I think, as a real amp. And the response of your guitars doesn't feel exactly like a real amp, but they do the job, and in a mix, they work really well. So, clean sound. Okay, next plugin I have, and this one I kind of discovered recently. It's been there for a long time, but I kind of like the way you can control your dynamics in this plugin. I think it's by kilohertz. Because you can control the threshold for when you start compressing, and also for the upward compression. So you can play, you can hear and also visually see when you're starting to compress, or which, let's say, low volume. I'm raising the volume of this low volume sound is also being brought up, and when I hit it too hard, also is being brought down to help me keep that more control dynamics in my playing, and it sounds more even and nothing get lost on the mix. And then I have Helix Native. I'm just using the chorus exactly as it comes up in stereo setting. Everything is just stuck the way when you load the chorus comes in. So it's already adding a lot of dimension to the sound. And last but not least, Valhalla delay. I really like this delay because it has different kinds of delays going on, and it also has this diffusion option, which pretty much turns the delays into reverb in a way, and softens a little bit those delays. So I have it in ping pong setting, dotted A notes, and tape. You can hear all those. Let me lower the diffusion. Just kind of like glitches and imperfections in the delay. Kind of starts distorting a little bit, and it doesn't sound exactly as the original anymore. So when it blends with the original, it causes this kind of modulation effect that to my ears is very pleasing. Now we add diffusion. I'm gonna exaggerate it. They pretty much turn into reverb, right? But some of it. Right, and those A note, dotted A notes work really well for. Let me turn on the metronome. When you want to create that kind of rhythm that goes under the music and supports the other elements that are providing rhythm, and it works really well. Okay, the next thing I'm going to share is a couple of tips and things that I do when I'm recording this kind of guitars. One of them is doing kind of like a pad reverse guitar, and it goes like this. Feels like cheating because it's kind of cheating, but anyway. So I will play a chord like this. I don't need it to have that long because I only need one full measure. And I would copy the measure, Command D to duplicate, and then other, reverse, there already, and then fade them. Let me clean this first part. And you will get this effect. Which tends to work really well like before a chorus or a part that needs a little bit of a lift to make it bigger. Okay, the second tip I'm gonna share is something I would do when I don't want to hook up a volume pedal, and I want to have some guitar swells, and I will edit them later on in Pro Tools using the fading function. And I will do something like this. I would try to play the chords a little bit earlier before the beat. That way I leave room to do the swell. Let's try it. I haven't done this in a long time. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, so let's do a quick edit. Let's see what we can do. Okay, this is not gonna be perfect, but just to give you the idea of how I would do it to create those fades in Pro Tools. So let's do tab to transients, Command E, and let's see, it's just something like that. Command F, maybe try this shape. That works. Let's try it. Maybe fade this out a little bit. Right, same here. Okay. And I'm doing kind of like rough, not doing it exactly in the same spots or anything, just trying things real quick, see if it works. Let's listen. And you could also, in this case, maybe even make the delays louder, longer, more diffuse. Okay, that's the general idea. Again, it depends on the tempo of the song and the chord changes and whatever editing that you wanna do to make sure it's working with the track, right? Depending what else is happening. But this is one way I would do it, just to make sure I get the swells exactly the way I want them. And well, I hope this video was useful to you, and I'll see you in the next one.